Today on MTG Unpacked, we're getting stuck into the Blast from the Past Doctor Who Commander deck. So this one contains the first 8 Doctors, including the most iconic, in my opinion, Tom Baker. So the 4th Doctor. So what do we get here? Ooh, Plane Chase cards are back. Okay, we got a 100 card deck with 50 new cards. What? 10 Plane Chase cards, 10 double-sided tokens, planar die, foil etch, display commander, life wheel, deck box, strategy, insert, and reference card. And I believe, yeah, they've also got the collector booster sample pack in here. So without further ado, let's get into it. Doctor Who goodness. Been waiting for this one for a while, ever since they announced it. If I can get the box open here, they're using like super glue now apparently. Okay, so we will get to cracking, see what we've got here. Alright, oh, that's fun. So some tokens, and of course a foil display there. We've got a deck box. There he is, Tom Baker, number 4. Sarah Jane Smith, I think that's supposed to be. And that is it. Oh, what is this? A cool dice. Was not expecting this. I should have been because it was on the box. So take a look at this. So this is the Plane Chase dice. So I think it's, what is it, like Order or Chaos? Something like that. And it's got stars all over it. That is awesome. Okay, so then we have our life wheel here. With the 4th Doctor, we go up to 40 on this one. Very cool. Alright, so we've got our deck here. And in the envelope, we've got our Collector Booster Sample Pack along with Plane Chase cards. Let's see what we get in here. So they also did Collector Boosters with this set. If you missed that video, link in the corner. So it has fancier versions of all the cards in the Commander decks. We've got a makeover montage, okay. Yasmin Khan and irrigated farmland, okay, with the extended art. So these are totally random. You're not likely to get anything too great there. So take a look at this flyer here. So these usually tell you about playing the deck. So I think the deal with this one, it's about historic spells. Okay, so Blast from the Past. You've got some Commander rules here, and of course Plane Chase. This is a fun mechanic. I think they did that with March the Machine as well. So here we have the 4th Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith. There we go, one of the companions. Talking about magic colours. And why are the 4th Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith green, white and blue aligned? Okay, so let's take a look at these Plane Chase cards. These things are giant, oversized things. They originated with the Plane Chase set, I believe. Something like that. Okay, so we start off here with the Pyramid of Mars. So this is the Plane of Mars. When you planeswalk to the Pyramid of Mars at the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 2. And when you roll the die here, whenever chaos ensues, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so that's fun. I remember that Mars episode. Caught in a Parallel Universe. So this is a phenomenon. When you encounter Caught in a Parallel Universe, each player chooses the creature controlled by the player to their left. Each player creates a token that's a copy of the creature they chose, except it has Menace. Then planeswalk away from this phenomenon. I think that's the people on Unit. They're like a... almost like a military organization. We got Gardens of Tranquil Repose and Plain Necros, that guy Davros, I think, leader of the Daleks. We have suspended animation. Whenever a creature dies, exile it. Its controller, what is that, scries 1. And whenever chaos ensues, create X 3/3 black Dalek artifact creature tokens with menace, where X is 1 plus the number of cards exiled with Gardens of Tranquil Repose. And then we have Spectrox Mines, plain, And Razani Miner. When you planeswalk 2 Spectrox Mines, and at the beginning of your upkeep you lose 3 life and create a treasure token. Whenever Chaos ensues, create a food token and a 2/2 black human rogue creature token. Next we have Coal Hill School. I don't remember that one. Plain Earth. Whenever a player casts a historic spell, that player draws a card. So artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic. And whenever Chaos ensues, return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. And next up, oh, that's colourful. We have Unit Headquarters. Looks like it's under attack here. Plain Earth. When you planeswalk to Unit Headquarters, and at the beginning of your upkeep, create a tapped white soldier creature token. And whenever Chaos ensues, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Then we have the Cheetah Planet. Playing outside Mutter's Spiral. When you planeswalk to the Cheetah Planet, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target non-cat creature you control. It becomes a cat in addition to its other types. That's awesome. Whenever Chaos ensues, all cats gain Provoke until end of turn. And that means whenever a cat attacks, its controller may have target creature defending player controls untap and block if able. Okay, Cheetah Planet, awesome. We got Antarctic Research Base, again on the plane of Earth. When you planeswalk to Antarctic Research Base, and at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Whenever Chaos ensues, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of artifacts you control. It becomes a plant in addition to its other types. And the Cave of Skulls. Plane of Earth. Each creature card in your graveyard has Scavenge. The Scavenge cost is equal to its mana cost. Exile a creature card from your graveyard and pay its mana cost. You get to put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that card's power on target creature. Scavenge only as a sorcery, and whenever Chaos ensues, create 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. And finally here we have TARDIS Bay. The plane is Gallifrey, so that's the Doctor's home planet or whatever. The first spell you cast during each of your turns with mana value 2 or greater has Cascade. And when Chaos ensues, gain control of target artifact, then planeswalk. Okay, so that will add a fun dimension to games. So let's take a look at the deck itself here. And we will see if we can figure this out. They should also have, yeah, looks like it's on the top here, a foil etched display commander. So you'll notice this is thicker cardstock. Purely for display, you're not going to shuffle this into your deck. So we have the 4th Doctor. And let's dig into the rest here. So here he is again. It's a mythic. The 4th Doctor, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor. 4/4 for 2 green and blue. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. And he has the Would You Like Her ability. I think he's offering you jelly babies. Once each turn, you may play a historic land or cast a historic spell from the top of your library. When you do, create a food token. So artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic. Then we have Sarah Jane Smith, legendary creature, human detective. Whenever you cast a historic spell, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. And to investigate, create a clue token. It's an artifact with pay 2, sack this artifact, draw a card. This has Doctor's Companion, so you can have 2 commanders if the other is the Doctor. So it's a 2/1 for 1 and a white. Awesome. And then we have Romana 2, legendary creature, Time Lord Scientist, 3/3 for 3 and a white. Vigilance for 1, tap. Create a tap token. That's a copy of target token that entered the battlefield this turn. This one also has Doctor's Companion. Awesome. And Joe Grant, legendary creature, human soldier, 3/2 for 2 and a white. Each historic card in your hand has cycling 2 and a white. Whenever you cycle a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Joe Grant. I like how she's actually on a motorcycle here. Doctor's Companion as well. We got Tegan Javanka, legendary creature, human, 2/2 for 2 and a white. With Braveheart, whenever you attack target attacking historic creature, gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. And again, Doctor's Companion. You certainly know how to fly this crate, don't you? And Barbara Wright, legendary creature, human advisor, 1/3 for 1 and white, history teacher. Sagas you control have read ahead. So that means as a saga enters the battlefield, choose a chapter and start with that many lore counters. Skip chapters don't trigger. Has Doctor's Companion as well. There will be no sacrifice this afternoon, Doctor, or ever again. We got Ian Chesterton. So these are some of the older companions. Legendary creature, human scientist, 2/3 for 2 and white. Has science teacher. Each saga spell you cast has replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. Also has Doctor's Companion. We've got Perry Brown, legendary creature, human, 2/3 for 3 and white. The first historic spell you cast each turn has Convoke. It also has Doctor's Companion. I'm Per Pagillium Brown, and I can shout just as loud as you can. And Crisis of Conscience, here is the Doctor again. Sorcery for 4 and 2 white. Choose one. Destroy all tokens. Destroy all non-land, non-token permanents. Just touch these 2 strands together and the Daleks are finished. Have I that right? So I like the flavour on that one. We have the Caves of Androzani. So this was a series of episodes. So it's a saga, enchantment saga for 3 and a white. On the first turn, put 2 stun counters on each of up to 2 target tapped creatures. On the second and third turns, for each non-saga permanent, choose a counter on it. You may put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. On the fourth turn, search your library for a Doctor card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And the War Games, another saga here for 2 and 2 white. On the first turn, each player creates 3 tapped 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. The tokens are goaded for as long as the War Games remains on the battlefield. On the second and third turns, put a +1/+1 counter on each warrior creature. On the fourth turn, you may exile a non-token creature you control. When you do, exile all warriors. Trial of a Time Lord. On the first, second, and third turns, exile target non-token creature an opponent controls until Trial of a Time Lord leaves the battlefield. On the fourth turn, starting with you, each player votes for innocent or guilty. If guilty gets more votes, the owner of each card exiled with Trial of a Time Lord puts that card on the bottom of their library. So that's a fun mini game you could say. The Knight of the Doctor, enchantment saga for 4 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures on the first turn. On the second, return target legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put your choice of First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink counter on it. Traverse Eternity, sorcery for 2 and 2 blue. Draw cards equal to the highest mana value among historic permanents you control. Know thine enemy. Admirable advice, says the 4th Doctor. Oh, it's Canine, Mark 1. Legendary artifact creature, robot dog, 1/1 for a single blue, has negative. As long as Canine Mark 1 is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have ward 1 and affirmative for 1 and a blue. Tap. Target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. Also can be Doctor's Companion. Nice. We've got Adric, mathematical genius, legendary creature, human artificer, 1/1 for 1 and a blue, for 2 and a blue. Tap. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Has ultimate sacrifice for 1 and a blue. Sacrifice that counter target activated or triggered ability. Also has Doctor's Companion. Nissa of Traken, legendary creature, human scientist, 3/4 for 3 and a blue. You have no maximum hand size. Awesome. Has Sonic Booster. Whenever Nissa of Traken attacks, sacrifice X artifacts. When you sacrifice 1 or more artifacts this way, tap up to X target creatures and you draw X cards. Also with Doctor's Companion. Reverse the Polarity instant for 1 and 2 blue. Choose one, counter all other spells. What? Switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Creatures can't be blocked this turn. You see, before you reactivated it, I reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Okay then. 500-Year Diary, legendary artifact clue for 3 and a blue. 500-Year Diary enters battlefield tapped. Tap to add blue for each clue you control. And for 2, sacrifice 500-Year Diary, you get to draw a card. An Unearthly Child. So enchantment saga for 1 and 2 blue. On the first, second, and third turns, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a Doctor card, a card with Doctor's Companion, or a vehicle card. Don't think we've seen any vehicles yet. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And we've got the first Doctor in the picture there. We've got Leela Sevateem Warrior, legendary creature, human warrior, 3/3 for 3 and green. Whenever an opponent draws a card, except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, put a +1/+1 counter on Leela Sevateem Warrior. Look, Doctor, good marksmanship is not a matter of luck. So another Doctor's companion there. Ace Fearless Rebel, so she was the companion to the 7th Doctor. Legendary creature, human rebel, 2/2 for 3 and green, has Nitro 9. Whenever Ace Fearless Rebel attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Ace Fearless Rebel. Then it fights up to 1 target creature defending player controls. Also has Doctor's Companion, and her catchphrase was Wicked. We have Susan Foreman, legendary creature, Time Lord, 1/1 for 1 and green. If you would Planeswalk, instead look at the top 2 cards of your planar deck. Put one on the bottom of your planar deck and the other on top, then Planeswalk. Tap for green, also with Doctor's Companion. And it's the 5 Doctors. Sorcery for 5 and green has Kicker 5, so you can pay that extra as you cast a spell. Search your library and or graveyard for up to 5 Doctor cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. If the spell was kicked, put those cards onto the battlefield instead of putting them into your hand. Awesome flavour on that one. We've got Jamie McCrimmon, so I think he's supposed to be Scottish. Legendary creature, human warrior, 2/2 for 2 and a green. Trample, whenever you cast a historic spell, Jamie McCrimmon gets +X until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. Also has Doctor's Companion, and I will not even try to pronounce that. And we have the Sea Devils, another enchantment saga for 2 and a green on the first and second turns. Create a 2/2 green alien salamander creature token with Island Walk. And on the third turn, until end of turn, whenever a salamander deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to target creature that player controls. City of Death, another enchantment saga for 2 and a green. On the first turn, create a treasure token. On the 1st through 6th turns, create a token that's a copy of target non-saga token you control. That's pretty crazy. And we have Gallifrey Stands, legendary enchantment for 4 white and blue. When it enters battlefield, return all Doctor cards from your graveyard to your hand. Love the flavour on this one. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a Doctor creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Then if you control 13 or more Doctors, you win the game. Nice. Alistair the Brigadier, legendary creature, human soldier, 3/3 for 1 green, white and blue. Whenever you cast a historic spell, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Whenever Alistair attacks, you may pay 8. If you do, creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of historic permanents you control. And here we go, the first Doctor, the one that started it all, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 2/2 for 1 white and blue. When the first Doctor enters battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a card named TARDIS. Reveal it, put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature. So the TARDIS is the blue police box thing that he travels around the universe in. We have the second Doctor, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 2/4 for 2 white and blue. Players have no maximum hand size, so that applies to everybody. How civil of you. At the beginning of your end step, each player may draw a card. Each opponent who does can't attack you or permanents you control during their next turn. Well, it is a fact, Jamie, that I do tend to get involved. And the third Doctor here, John Pertwee, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 2/2 for 2 green and blue. Trample, the third Doctor gets +1/+1 for each non-creature token you control. And when the third Doctor enters the battlefield, create your choice of a clue token, a food token, or a treasure token. It's rather a pity in a way. Now the universe is down to 699 wonders. And we have the fifth Doctor, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 2/2 for 2 white and blue, has peaceful coexistence. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that didn't attack or enter the battlefield this turn. Untap those creatures. When did you last have the pleasure of smelling a flower, watching a sunset, eating a well-prepared meal? And the 6th Doctor, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 3/3 for 4 green and blue. Time Lord's prerogative. Whenever you cast a historic spell, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is a situation that requires tact and finesse. Fortunately, I am blessed with both. And the 7th Doctor here, Sylvester McCoy, legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor. I would say this guy is my second favourite Doctor after Tom Baker. We have a 3/6 for 3 white and blue. Whenever the 7th Doctor attacks, choose a card in your hand. Defending player guesses whether that card's mana value is greater than the number of artifacts you control. If they guessed wrong, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast the spell this way, investigate. And we've got the 8th Doctor. So this is Paul McGann from the TV movie. Legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor, 4/4 for 4 white and blue. Enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, and once during each of your turns you may play a historic land or cast a historic permanent spell from your graveyard. If you do, it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Physician, heal thyself. And Reston, Menoptera leader, legendary creature, alien insect scout, 0/0 for X, 2 green and white. Flying, enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 green and white alien insect creature tokens with flying. Whenever you attack with one or more insects, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Sergeant John Benton, I guess he's part of Unit. Legendary creature, human soldier, 2/4 for 1 green and white, has trample and haste and share intelligence. Whenever Sergeant John Benton deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. Anyway, nothing to do with you surprises me anymore, Doctor. We got the Curse of Fenric, Enchantment Saga for 2 green and white. On the first turn for each player, destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. For each creature destroyed this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green mutant creature token with Death Touch. On the second turn, target non-token creature becomes a 6/6 legendary horror creature named Fenric and loses all abilities. On the third turn, target mutant fights another target creature named Fenric. Gotta love the flavour on that one. We got Duggan Private Detective, legendary creature, human detective, star for 2 green and blue. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever Duggan enters the battlefield or attacks, investigate. Has the most important punch in history. For 1 and a green, tap, it deals damage equal to it twice its power to another target creature. Activate only once. And Bessie, the Doctor's Roadster. This is fun. I think that's supposed to be the 3rd Doctor, isn't it? Legendary artifact vehicle, 3/4 for 2 with haste. Whenever Bessie attacks, another target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. You can crew it for 2. Ace's Baseball Bat, legendary artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 as long as equipped creature is attacking. It has first strike and must be blocked by a Dalek if able. Equip legendary creature for 1, equip for 3. And Gallifrey Council Chamber, legendary land. When it enters battlefield, surveil 1. You can tap it for colorless or tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a Time Lord or Alien spell or activate an ability of a Time Lord or Alien. Okay, so the rest of the deck here, dig in. So we've got a bunch of lands there. Okay, we might as well get through that stuff. Oh, they have artifacts and other stuff as well. So there should be... Okay, let's go up to here and continue. We have Day of Destiny, legendary enchantment for 3 and white. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. And I think I'll skip the flavor text in the interest of time. Heroic Intervention, instant for 1 and a green. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. We've got Time Wipe. Sorcery for 2, 2 white and a blue. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand, then destroy all creatures. Heroes Podium, legendary artifact for 5. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other legendary creature you control. For X, tap, look at the top X cards of your library. You may reveal a legendary creature card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And Trenzalore Clock Tower, legendary land, tap for blue, put a time counter on Trenzalore Clock Tower. And for 1 and a blue, tap, remove 12 time counters from it and exile it. Shuffle your graveyard and hand into your library, then draw 7 cards. Activate only if you control a Time Lord. That's fun. Twice Upon a Time, sorcery for 4 and 2 blue. Cast a spell only if you control 2 or more doctors. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile Twice Upon a Time. And then the sorcery adventure portion here, you could cast instead Unlikely Meeting for 2 and a blue. Search your library for a doctor card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. We got a Port Town. Land, as it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a plains or island card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. Tap for white or blue. We've got Exotic Orchard, a land. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land and opponent controls could produce. Temple of Enlightenment enters battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1. Tap for white or blue. Fortified Village, as it enters battlefield, you may reveal a forest or plains card from your hand. If you don't, it enters battlefield tapped. Tap for green or white. Prairie Stream, as it enters battlefield, it's tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Tap for white or blue. Canopy Vista, tap for green or white. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And Sungrass Prairie, really liking the artwork on these lands. For 1, tap, add green and white. Temple of Plenty enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, scry 1, tap for green or white. Irrigated Farmland enters tapped. Cycle it for 2 or tap for white or blue. And Temple of Mystery enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, scry 1, tap for green or blue. Vine Glimmer Snarl, as it enters battlefield, you may reveal a forest or island card from your hand. If you don't, it enters battlefield tapped. Tap for green or blue. Scattered Groves enters tapped. Tap for green or white. Cycle it for 2. We got Celestial Colonnade enters battlefield tapped. Tap for white or blue. And for 3 white and blue, until end of turn, it becomes a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature with flying and vigilance. It's still a land. Deserted Beach enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap for white or blue. Glacial Fortress enters tapped unless you control a plains or an island. Tap for white or blue. Horizon Canopy, tap, pay 1 life. Add green or white, or pay 1, tap, sack it, draw a card. We've got Overgrown Farmland enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap for green or white. Waterlogged Grove, tap, pay 1 life, tap for green or blue. And for 1, tap, sack it, draw a card. Dreamroot Cascade. So we've got a ton of non-basic lands in this deck. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Tap for green or blue. Skycloud Expanse. It's another land for 1. Tap, add white and blue. Banish to Another Universe. Enchantment for 4 and a white. Has affinity for historic permanents. When banished to another universe, enters battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until banished to another universe leaves the battlefield. And Time Lord Regeneration, instant for a blue until end of turn. Target Time Lord you control gains when this creature dies. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a Time Lord creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Displaced Dinosaurs, creature dinosaur, 7/7 for 5 and 2 green. As it enters battlefield under your control, it becomes, or as a historic permanent, I should say, enters battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types. That's craziness. We got a Sonic Screwdriver, artifact for 3. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. For 1, tap, untap another target artifact. For 2, tap, scry 1. For 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. And of course, the ever popular TARDIS. Artifact vehicle 2/4 for 2. Whenever TARDIS attacks, if you control a Time Lord, the next spell you cast this turn has Cascade, and you may Planeswalk. You can crew the TARDIS for 2. Swords to Plowshares with some new artwork. Instant for a single white, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. And Path to Exile, instant for a single white, exile target creature. Its controller may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Return to Dust, instant for 2 and 2 white, exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast a spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Explore, sorcery for 1 and a green. You may play an additional land this turn, draw a card. 3 visits, sorcery for 1 and a green. I like the flavour on this one. Search your library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So you've got the first 3 doctors on that one. Arcane Signet, artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Soul Ring, I was wondering when we'd get to this one. Artifact for 1. Tap for 2 colourless. Talisman of Unity, artifact for 2. Tap for colourless or tap to add green or white. It deals 1 damage to you. Hero's Blade, artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. Equip for 4. Talisman of Progress. Artifact for 2. Tap for colourless. Tap to add white or blue. It deals 1 damage to you. And Thought Vessel. Artifact for 2. You have no maximum hand size. Tap for colourless. Mind Stone. Artifact for 2. Tap for colourless. For 1 tap. Sack it. Draw a card. Okay, so it looks like the rest, I'm going to say, is probably lands and tokens. We have a Thriving Isle. Its land enters tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a colour other than blue. Tap to add blue or 1 mana of the chosen colour. We've got Thriving Grove enters tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a colour other than green. Add green or 1 mana of the chosen colour. Thriving Heath, same deal for white. Ash Barrens, a land tapped for colourless, has basic land cycling 1. Seaside Citadel enters tapped. Tap for green, white or blue. Command Tower, tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Path of Ancestry enters tapped. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. And when that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. Okay, so we've got basic lands here. We've got the TARDIS in each one. So plains, we've got 2 of those. Islands, 2 of those. Whoops. Forests, we've got 2, 3 of those. Okay, and that's all for the basics. So most of the deck is non-basics. We've got a food token here. It looks like the Jelly Babies. Token artifact food for 2 taps. Like this artifact, you gain 3 life. Love the flavour on that one, literally. Warrior, 1/1 token on the other side. Treasure token, token artifact treasure. Tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any colour. And if you remember the name of that companion, let me know in the comments. Can't think of it right now. 1/1 warrior. We've got a clue token for 2. Sack this artifact, draw a card. On the other side, we got a human rogue, 2/2. And a copy token, nice. Along with a soldier, 1/1. Mutant with Death Touch, 3/3 on the other side, the 1/1 soldier. Another mutant. And an alien insect flying, 1/1 on the other side. Alien insect flying, 1/1 with an alien salamander. Island Walk, 2/2, that's a unique token. Mutant Death Touch, 3/3 with the alien salamander. Okay, soldier, 1/1 with a mutant Death Touch, 3/3. Soldier, 1/1 with a copy token. And on your turn, so the different parts of the turn, popular Magic formats. And that is it. Okay, so it looks like an awesome deck. I like the historic flavour. You've got a lot of synergies with historic cards. So that's artifacts, legendaries, and so forth. And of course, this one you get the first 8 doctors. So that is awesome. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. They're currently going for about $52 US on TCG Player, which sounds about right. And stay tuned. We'll be getting stuck into the other 3 Doctor Who decks in the coming days. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.